5 on your side at 10 starts now.
Rain chance ramps up, but not for long. Why the window of opportunity for free water is limited with this next front.
Tonight, striking Boeing workers near a month on the picket line. Now their health care is on the line. A toddler shot in a neighborhood riddled with crime.
Military-style guns. They're walking with them. They may have them in their pants.
Tonight, the efforts to combat a new generation of gang violence on the streets of North St. Louis.
People are just terrified.
5 on your side starts now with breaking news.
Tonight, the newly appointed St. Louis Police Board is on hold. Good evening. I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Mike Bush. Within the hour, Missouri Governor Mike Keogh's office confirmed he has withdrawn interim appointments to boards and commissions. However, he plans to reappoint the same board members in January. Now, the reason for all this, the special session, which starts tomorrow to redraw Missouri's congressional seats. These appointments were made after the last legislative session. By law, the Missouri Senate must take action on an interim gubernatorial appointment within 30 days of gaveling in. This move allows lawmakers to focus now on redistricting.
St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer released a statement tonight saying, quote, "This unusual situation raises a lot of procedural questions and uncertainty about a whole host of things. My office is now seeking clarity on those questions to ensure the governance over the police department has clear lines of authority." The St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department says Chief Robert Tracy will continue to lead the department with the help of Board Transition Director Derek Winters.
Neighbors say they heard gunshots and then a mother's screams. Tonight, a 1-year-old girl is recovering after being shot in the arm. The shooting happened last night inside the family's apartment on Clara Avenue. The mother rushed the toddler to the nearby Crown Food Mart on MLK Drive for help. Detectives say the girl's father claims someone fired into their home. Neighbors say he admitted to them he accidentally shot his daughter. Police say he is not cooperating.
We have some of the best detectives in this city working on this case right now, and they will get to the bottom of exactly who pulled the trigger. It doesn't pay not to cooperate with police, especially when a 1-year-old is involved.
Police took the father into custody on unrelated charges last night. We're still working to find out what those charges are.
The family lives at the Arlington Grove Apartments, where we have covered several incidents of residents growing fearful of frequent gunfire and crimes committed by teens. It could all be connected to an apparent new gang, which is sparking rising concerns in the Wells Goodfellow neighborhood. New at 10, 5 on your side's Robert Townsend shares what he's learned about the 1,600 Clara boys and what the community is doing to try and tackle the problem.
From a pastor who rents properties in this North St. Louis neighborhood. How bad is it?
It's really bad. It's getting out of control.
To a neighbor who's also a community activist afraid to show her face during our interview.
It's the fear that they put in the residents and just the civilians.
To a board member of the nonprofit Breaking Generational Poverty Foundation.
Yes, it's a gang problem in the city of St. Louis.
They all have growing concerns about what they say is a new gang called the 1,600 Clara Boys.
I've been around for years, so I guess the kids in the neighborhood have formed their own gang and gave it a name.
Neighbors and community leaders say in the past year, the boys and teenagers formed near Dr. Martin Luther King Drive and Clara Avenue.
Where's the parent? It's sad because they're teenagers. Kids
who are reportedly 11 to 18 years old carrying guns.
There are people selling guns for cash in our city. And a lot of times these teens get the money from robbing people to buy these guns.
Military-style guns. They're walking with them. They may have them in their pants.
And sparking fear.
This is an area where we have to live, and as children, if you're walking around with guns, and what's going to happen next?
People are just terrified that there's a lot of young people out here robbing, shooting, doing God knows whatever they want to do.
5 on your side visited this neighborhood several times, talking to neighbors about their concerns. We also saw 1,600 written on this apartment building. Just feet away in July, police say someone fired gunshots and sent a mom and her kids scrambling after a projectile the mom called a bullet shattered their window. Police have not said if it was gang related, but it's an example of what neighbors are dealing with. A key question in all of this is what can be done to help teens turn their lives around before they turn to gangs.
I believe the community can turn these young people's lives around, but the problem is a lot of people in the community are afraid.
Northside native Pastor Lee Roy grew up not far from this neighborhood.
A lot of these children are just following along. A lot of them come from broken homes, and so it's not all about just throwing them and arresting them, but it's more about just trying to get them and meet them where they at.
They need to put the guns down and pick up activities. So, we're just calling on city officials, leaders to get programs for these kids so they can have something else other to do.
St. Louis police agree. Spokesman Mitch McCoy said in a statement, "We will continue to use every available resource to hold those who commit violent crimes accountable, while also supporting prevention and intervention efforts that give young people alternatives." While police would not confirm if they've heard of the 1600 Clara boys, the department does have a gang unit.
And so what we need to do is to know that we have the support from the city government and law enforcement. If we don't address the issue, we're going to see this area get worse and worse.
Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
For the past 2 years, the nonprofit Show Me Peace has worked with a variety of agencies to provide parents whose kids may be involved in gangs helpful information and resources. For more information, you can call Mission St. Louis. That number is 314-534-1188.
Tonight, a suspect is behind bars more than 6 years after the murder of a St. Louis teen. 16-year-old Christina Curry was found shot to death in the parking lot of Roosevelt High School in 2019. Well, this week, police arrested Marquise Quinn, who was 20 years old at the time of the murder. Court documents say Curry and Quinn had been in a relationship, and Curry thought she was pregnant.
Our homicide detectives worked tirelessly on this case, following leads and re-examining evidence over the years. We know the pain that unsolved cases bring families and neighborhoods.
Court documents say the two had texted about meeting at the school. Quinn is charged with first-degree murder.
An update tonight on a deadly crash in South St. Louis. Last night, a motorcyclist hit a man running across the street on Gravois near Compton. The driver of the motorcycle died at the scene. The runner went to the hospital, and we're told tonight he's expected to be okay. A shift tonight for striking Boeing workers now facing their 5th week on the picket line.
They are now without health insurance coverage. 5 on your side's Annie Kroll is live outside Boeing's Berkeley plant to see if this is driving both sides back to the negotiating table.
Yeah, Mike and Kelly, well, negotiations were supposed to start after Labor Day, but as of now, no official date has been set. After a month on the picket lines, employees that I spoke to today said they hope these conversations wrap up quickly, especially considering that as of yesterday, they no longer have health insurance. Just some of about 3,200 local members of the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers were on the picket lines outside Boeing on Tuesday.
This has been my day, my strike shift since the beginning of the strike, whether it's hot, cold, rainy. Thinking about their families during their 4-hour shift.
They're all supportive. I mean, they know what we do here is not easy. Not anybody can just come and do this. It's a skilled trade. Employees like Michael Stevens from Lake St. Louis said they'll stay out here as long as it takes. The 23-year-old works on mechanical pressures and wiring for Boeing's FA-18. He's getting married on Saturday with no Boeing paycheck for close to a month. Just a lot of stress around it, not having the funds coming in right before it, a couple days before it, is definitely hurting, but I can make money anytime. Standing shoulder to shoulder with him was Sean Miller, who recently had knee surgery.
Just age of the knee, arthritis, torn meniscus, losing cartilage, the good stuff.
Miller has worked at Boeing for 17 years, now facing the reality of no health insurance.
I'm glad I had the surgery before this all happened, but right now I just leave it in God's hands.
At the start of August, union members walked off the job after voting down 2 contract proposals that included a 20% wage increase. Workers are demanding stronger long-term benefits, better pay structures, and higher wages.
No one's trying to get rich. No one's trying to make what the CEOs make. We just want just be able to have a decent paycheck.
According to Boeing's website, employees were notified before the strike that any striking employees would lose eligibility for company-paid health care benefits at the end of the month in which they strike. We reached out to Boeing, who said they continue to look forward to further conversations and bringing their team back to work. And Boeing said that any workers who want to return can, and they will have their health care benefits reinstated tomorrow morning. Boeing's Air Dominance Vice President is going to be answering questions from reporters, especially at their St. Louis site. Reporting live in North County, Annie Krall, 5 on your side.
New tonight, the St. Louis Public School Board is taking action following a recent state audit which revealed millions of dollars in wasteful spending and warned the district could go bankrupt. Last month, the Missouri State Auditor released results from the first 2 audits into the school district. It found that a $54 million surplus has been exhausted in just 4 years. Tonight, the board announced it plans to put a new initiative in place to address recommendations in the audit and put new policies in place.
A deadly doorbell prank.
It cost him his life.
The charges a Texas man now faces in the shooting death of an 11-year-old boy. He's a one-man recovery crew in the tornado zone.
From sun up to sundown, he's out here working.
Tonight, the outpouring of support for the man fixing up his North City neighborhood, one home at a time.
For those of you working outside tomorrow, most of the day is dry, but shower and maybe even some thunder chances, they're with us by the evening hours. We're tracking another surge of cool air in time for your weekend.
Just hours ago, the Texas man accused of shooting an 11-year-old to death over a ding-dong ditch prank appeared in court. Gonzalo Leon Jr. is charged with the murder of Julian Guzman. The Saturday night, the boy and his cousin were ringing doorbells as a prank, and police say a witness said Leon came out of the house, ran into the street, and started firing a gun as the boy ran away. He was shot in the back and died hours later.
There's nothing to suggest that he was taking anything. He was running away. He was doing what 11-year-old boys do. He was playing pranks on the neighbors, and it cost him his life.
The suspect is an Army veteran. Investigators say they found about 20 firearms in his home, including several AR-style rifles, shotguns, and pistols.
Tonight, President Trump is confirming he will send National Guard troops to Chicago. This is all part of the administration's plan to crack down on crime. Over the Labor Day weekend, 7 people were killed and more than 50 people were shot in Chicago. President Trump says he'd like Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker to call him and ask for the troops. Governor Pritzker emphasized today he does not want federal intervention.
Tonight, a remarkable display of community goodwill. After the devastating tornado tore through North St. Louis earlier this year, we told you about a man who wanted to do his part to help.
As 5 on your side's Brent Solomon joins us to explain, after many of you supported the mission, we are now seeing how far that help is going, Brent.
Yes, we are. More than $45,000. That's how much people donated to an online fundraiser to help Calvin Motley give back to his community. You can see it started around $20,000. Instead of me talking about it, take a look for yourself.
I never would have thought that it would have come to this.
Calvin Motley is overwhelmed by the financial support that's now putting him to work.
Trees were in this yard, in her yard, in my yard.
After the May 16th tornado, he jumped in, cutting down fallen trees, removing debris, and mowing overgrown properties. He's also started repair work.
The chimney was blown over.
He's now assessing more repairs that he'll carry out over the next couple of months, right here on his North St. Louis block.
She's got a couple of pieces of siding and a window that we're going to replace. And the lights to her garage are not working, and we'll get them to work.
Look at this walkboard he's set up as a support to get from one roof to the next.
Get up on the ladder onto my roof of my house and walk across and work on my neighbor's house. And that's what I'm going to do to the next house, too.
His efforts catching the eyes of some 57,000 people who have liked his videos on TikTok.
This is
Every day from sunup to sundown, he's out here working and doing something in this block.
Neighbor Felicia Lewis is grateful she didn't have to pay a dime after the tornado struck her home.
He replaced my gate. He helped replace all the wires and everything to my house that came down, the roofing. He said somebody gotta do it, and he's been doing it all by himself.
At some point, you begin to see the progress and you say, oh, this is worth it. I'm good with this.
Some 150 volunteers have reached out to support Motley's movement. He says he will keep at it until winter comes. And then after all of the repair work is done, he hopes to launch a new post-tornado mission, a community garden right in his North City neighborhood.
Brent, thanks. Tonight, people in University City are concerned about a new townhome development that they believe could cause some more flooding issues. The University City Stormwater Commission is considering the project near United Hebrew Cemetery. That complex is expected to be right next to the River Des Peres, and neighbors are concerned the removal of the trees there could cause more flooding problems in an area that was hit hard 3 years ago.
We have incident after incident of flooding going on, and they're not basically listening to us. It's all about the money.
The council did not vote on the project tonight. Their next meeting is scheduled for next Monday.
And Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell's here with the weather impact forecast. We could use a little rain.
I guess we're going to get some, right, Scott?
Well, the chances are certainly there as we head into tomorrow evening. We have another front coming through, and those fronts coming through this time of year, well, they not only bring that chance for a little bit of rain, but you notice the Gateway Arch not illuminated tonight. They also bring with them birds. The bird migration underway. They're making their way southbound now. So we've already seen this pick up. This is pretty much all birds showing up on the radar screen tonight. Normally it is the ground clutter, but there's a little more of it than usual, and it's definitely showing up as biological, which of course would be the birds heading back down to the south because they know the cool air is coming. And after every front through the next month, you'll get another big surge coming through as the winds turn more to the north. Now, those winds are pretty light tonight, and tomorrow morning that leads us into the 50s away from town, low 60s to start the day in town. It should be a pretty quiet start, but we have our eyes. Couple of fronts lining up here to the north and west of us. So far tonight, we've seen showers and thunderstorms to our north. They are tending to fade with the loss of the heat from the day, but as we go through tomorrow, that front's going to be sliding closer to us, and as it does so, it's going to increase our chances for some showers, maybe some thunder. We should be a little warmer too tomorrow. Mostly clear right now, 69 degrees. Dew points 57. We had 83 for the high temperature this afternoon in St. Louis. The average is 86. We think that's about where we are tomorrow. 50s, close to 60 or so in town. Tomorrow, if you're working outside, doing construction work, and there's a lot of that going on right now, a lot of roof repair going on because of the hail. Should be mainly dry during the day, but heading into tomorrow evening, our chances for showers and maybe some rumbles of thunder will be on the increase. Not especially windy tomorrow, and I think we're going to get through 4, 5, 6 o'clock without a whole lot of fanfare. After that and into the overnight is when our best chance for more widespread showers and perhaps some rumbles of thunder will be. If it's this widespread, that would be good news in that we could use the rainfall. Odds favor that being a little bit overblown. But as we get into the weekend, both Saturday and Sunday will feature bright skies. There'll be a brisk breeze on Saturday, but that settles quite a bit on Sunday. So it's mainly dry weather here for the weekend. Our best rain chance is coming tomorrow evening, and then there's another chance for a few showers around as we go into Friday afternoon. Look at your weekend temperatures, though. Way below average by about 10 degrees, maybe 12 degrees below average. We may be a little bit too warm, but it still looks like it's a bright weekend for us across the bi-state area. Just this cooler than average weather returning behind yet another autumn front.
Gotta like it. I'm not complaining.
Yeah, cooler than average is a lot better than 100 degrees.
Yes,
For
it is.
sure.
Whew.
Scott, thanks. Frank is here with sports.
Mike, great news for golf fans in the area. The Cardinals' best hitter had another special moment, and we'll hear from the most important college athlete in the state, Mizzou quarterback Bo Perbula.
And here's a look at the program streaming in late night on 5+. You can watch for free on your Roku, Apple, Fire, Samsung, or LG TV.
Let's face it, this Cardinals season is about finding who can play and who you can build around. Unfortunately, we haven't found out much. Still mostly unanswered questions, except for a few players who were on display tonight against the A's. Miles Michaelis got the start, and hitters hit 100 points lower against him at home as opposed to the road. 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run for Miles. Here's one of the guys you build around, Ivan Herrera. He hits for average, he hits for power, a 2-run homer in the 6th inning, and the Cardinals took a 2-1 lead. And here's another 26-year-old Matt Swanson. 2 scoreless innings, an earned run average of about 2. Unpack your bags, kid, and stay a while. And Jojo Romero, we want him back. He got the save. He's been terrific. Cards win 2-1. So what has this season meant to Ivan?
Get me extra confidence, man. Like I say, it's a tough sport. Like, we're gonna all struggle, but just give me more confidence that even when I was struggling, I keep hitting second. That means they trust me, they believe in me. That means a lot. You know, I'm just gonna keep trying to do my best out there and make things work and help the team win.
More great news for St. Louis sports fans. The Stiefel Charity Classic will become a playoff event on the Champions Tour beginning next year. The tourney will move to October, which gives them more separation from the BMW Championship at Belle Reve, which is in August. Now, if I had to bet on one golfer to win this week, it would be Stewart Cink. The former British Open champion has 19 professional victories, including 2 this year. Cink has had 11 top 10 finishes, and at 6'4", 205 pounds, he hits it further than almost everybody. And being just 52 years old doesn't hurt either.
That's kind of the nature of the Champions Tour. You know, you start at 50 and you're one of the youngest. You leave the PGA Tour and you're one of the oldest. And then you come out here and suddenly it's like a fountain of youth in a way. It's weird, but yeah, you definitely have a window if you're in reasonable shape and you know, if you stay after it with your golf, with your, you know, your skills, then you have a window where you can succeed for a little while. And it's fun out here. I know all these players. I've been playing with them for years, and it's a great way to sort of sunset your career, just competing at a very high level and, you know, knocking off a couple wins here and there. It's fun.
This 5 on Your Side St. Louis City SC coverage is sponsored by Together Credit Union.
Chipping practice wasn't just on the course today. Energizer Park played host to Tour champion player Robert Carlson, along with city players Thomas Totland and Chris Durkin, for a chipping challenge. Every chip into the target at midfield was good for $500 for charity. Out of 30 shots, they landed 17. Carlson landed all 10. That's $8,500 to charity, and Carlson enjoys his visits to our town.
I really like it. It's a nice tournament. We've always been looked after very well, and it's one of these tournaments. I've been here 5 years now, and the tournament gets a little bit better every year, and it's a nice place to visit.
It's Mizzou, Kansas week. They haven't played since 2011. The injury update is not a good one. Kicker Blake Craig is out for the season with an ACL, and quarterback Sam Horn will be out for an extended period of time. Bo Perbula got his Mizzou baptism last Thursday against Central Arkansas, made it a success, 348 total yards, 4 combined touchdowns. Now he's getting immersed in the MU-KU rivalry and just how it is important to Tiger Nation. He grew up in Pennsylvania and wasn't even 10 years old the last time the Tigers tangled with the Jayhawks. However, I think he knows what's at stake.
You love playing big games. You know, that's why you play it. You know, that's why you want to come to schools like Mizzou to play in big-time atmospheres. So, you know, like you said, being a part of big-time games in the past is just a lot of fun. But at the same time, you got to have the same process. You know, same process as it was for Central Arkansas is the same process we'll have for KU. So, just focusing on this week of preparation to be the best that we can be on Saturday.
And the hatred between these two schools is just unbelievable. When Norm Stewart would take his basketball team to Kansas, he would make sure they would not spend 1 penny. They wouldn't even buy gas in Kansas. So this
goes
is
back
fun.
a long way. Thanks, Frank.
All right, it's a TikTok trend that's not fizzling away. The popular soda fountain coming to town that's a little dirty. It just keeps growing and growing. Tomorrow night's Powerball jackpot is now up to $1.3 billion.
Yeah, that's the 5th largest prize of the game's history. Tickets are $2, and you have until 9 p.m. tomorrow to buy yours.
A chain known for the dirty soda trend on TikTok is coming to the St. Louis area. According to its website, Swig, it's planning to open a drive-through soda shop on Mid-Rivers Mall Drive in St. Peters. An opening date has not been announced. Swig sells more than 100 combinations of sodas mixed with syrup and cream.
A fall favorite is headed back to the store shelves this week. You can buy 12 packs or kegs of O'Fallon pumpkin beer and vanilla pumpkin beer. Urban Chestnut has resurrected the popular local brews after acquiring the brands of O'Fallon Brewery, which closed last year. And there you have it. 5 on your side at 10. We're always streaming on 5+.
Be sure to start your day with Today in St. Louis. That starts at 5 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.